allowed the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind. Off your
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get it higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo to do. Mayegun la wa mo to do.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Mayegun Live. Please read the caption of this broadcast, the description of this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today. Share this, read the description like I said, because I'm going to do the same. And the writer for this chat tonight is the statement credited to the Shettima, thiefnubu's vice president, who just said the idea of Peter Obi and Atiku on Forex and subsidy removal, they were the ideas adopted by thiefnubu, but they failed. I got few orders tonight, but because we are almost starting late, so we're just going to dive into it. Thank you. Motide. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun Live. Now, just as an opener, okay, into the conversation tonight, here is a flashback to when Koolu was in Delta States, talking about Atiku and Obi. A throwback.
As I stand before you, there are few of us left running. One says he is Atiku. How many times has he been running?
Always on the run.
He's always on the run, and he's tired. Tell him to go and sit down. Enough is enough. The other one, that one, I think na statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that never, no Indian can solve it. To mention his name is a disgrace to myself. I won't mention the name. Wrong arithmetic, wrong statistics, warehouse economy, and that's not what Nigeria needs. Kabiyesi, Your Royal Majesty, it was a joy to find.
So this was just about 2 years ago when the charade was being put together, and since Koolu, who actually didn't promise you anything, all he promised was hope is here, joy is here, food is here. That's most of the thing he said. A lot of you didn't ask and you probably didn't bother. But the man that didn't bother about statistics and who told Atiku to stop running is your president today, and Nigeria and Nigerians, they are worse off. No single investment or any real investor has put their penny in Nigeria since Tinubu became your president. But day one, he announced the removal of subsidy, something that is so critical as subsidizing the petroleum product for Nigerians as a taste for them. As a taste of their supposed money. That's the only thing that you can say, okay, yeah, they pretended that they are subsidizing us. But Shore said there is nothing called subsidy. It's only these rich criminals subsidizing themselves. So Tinubu the supposed man with all of the preparation and all that, according to the Delulu, bad idiots and the bad stats, remove the subsidy. They had no idea, or possibly they did, but they just didn't give a damn. He removed it and he said, it's gone. And right from that moment, everything took the downturn. No matter how you pretend or try to pretend about it or live in denial of it, except if you're actually a real lunatic, rather. A weary. Then they started saying, but during the campaign, Atiku said he's going to remove subsidy, that he was going to sell off the Nigeria refineries. Peter Obi said he was going to remove subsidy. So why is everyone now blaming thiefnubu for removing subsidy? So easy, so cheap. But the sufferhead, suffering and smiling sufferheads in Nigeria, they can be, they can be deceived because they are voluntary slaves. But let's break it down. Thiefnubu didn't even tell you he was going to remove subsidy that way. He said he was going to rehabilitate all your refineries, he was going to build new ones, and all that nonsense that they put in there in the book that probably himself didn't read. This is what Atiku said about fuel subsidy. They all agree that it's a scam. Because who is subsidizing who? NnPC is selling Nigeria crude oil. Nigerians have no idea how much crude oil is sold a day or a month. The same NnPC is responsible for rehabilitation of your refineries in Nigeria. The same NnPC is responsible for importation of fuel into Nigeria. The same NnPC that is importing the fuel, supposedly with your money, is the same NnPC now paying subsidy. Take a look at this way. Look at it this way, okay? The license to bring fuel into Nigeria. Okay, start with this. Out of the 48 ministers appointed by thiefnubu, the Minister of Petroleum is retained by him. So he is your Minister of Petroleum. So start with that. thiefnubu is your president. He is also your Minister of Petroleum. Okay? So making it two. Therefore, he is superintending the ministry by delegating that supposedly to a junior minister, Minister of State. Now, the Minister of Petroleum is in charge. The NnPC is under the Ministry of Petroleum. Therefore, whatever NnPC does is supposedly approved by the ministry as well as the president. Are you seeing the connections there, right? Now, go further. Nigeria, the body responsible for the rehabilitation of your refineries is the NnPC, which means every penny, all of the $12 billion they have spent on your refineries so far under APC, right? Believe that got the approval of the supposed minister, which is the president, Abi. Now, the refineries, none of them is working except the propaganda of when they are going to start. They will start next June. They will start next December. They will just don't have to tell you the year, right? So with that, 12 billion down the drain, no refinery, no petrol. Now, the same NnPC as well is also responsible for bringing in fuel. You remember the old story of importers There is no more importers now. Back then, they issued license to import fuel to Nigeria. And that is expected to still be the case when they said subsidy was gone, okay? And if you have money, go and bring your fuel from anywhere. Come and sell it to Nigerians at whatever price you think people will buy from you. That is what you mean by subsidy gone. But before we get to subsidy gone, subsidy being paid. So when Tinubu said subsidy was gone, right, it simply means the person bringing fuel, this is where the fraud is. So it is one terrible corruption that if it was in China, they will hang Buhari first, Pastor Ruga next, and possibly 70% of those who work with Buhari, they would have been shot by now, dead. Now, starting with Tinubu by now, under this 1 year, they would have called for a probe. They could don't hang Tinubu by now. And you know that shitty man, they could don't hang him too. Then they will start, they will then go to that Kyari. No, they could not hang that Kyari first with Buhari. Because you know what they are doing? I'll tell you. Before now, under Egberejo Lantern, some people, they procured the license to bring fuel to Nigeria. They called them importers. So what they were doing was each importer can say, I have 15 million liters petrol that I just brought to Nigeria. They will show the bill of lading, they will show all the way bill, everything. So the ministry, which is the NnPC, they will now say, okay, how many liters? 20 million. How much do you want to sell the per liter? Well, the way the things are, I'm going to sell it for 250 naira per liter. 250. Okay, you know what? We want you to sell it for 87 naira. Okay, we'll pay you the difference. So that difference of, now I'm just using an example. Let's just use an example now. We'll pay you 90 naira. Okay, I'm sorry. You should sell it to Nigerians for 90 naira. And the government will pay the difference. So if you remove 90 naira from 250 naira, so that means government will now pay 140 naira on every liter of petrol that you were buying under Jonathan. Put it that way. Why you are paying 90 naira per liter? Government is paying 140, was paying 140. That's what is called subsidy. Then there were marketers, there were actually importers. Okay? That was why when Jonathan now discovered the corruption behind the subsidy scam, they now realized that once the marketers are paid the difference of their imported product, they will just divert them straight to Cameroon, where they can sell it for maybe 260 naira per liter. So which means they will collect money from Nigeria and they will also sell, they won't sell to Nigerians, they will take it to Ghana. That was the corruption Jonathan was probing. Subsidy probo. One of them at the time is the governor of Ogun State now. Dubious Dapo, aiding oil, was one of those who were perpetrating that crime then. They were collecting steady with the collaboration of some of those in the NnPC. Steady money. It was like a free money. And that's why he's probably parading himself as a very rich person. That gave him the access to even loot more as an executive governor of a state. You understand? So then there were actually real importers. So once the probe started, so they canceled them. So NnPC became the sole importer. So how then do you pay subsidy to something you brought in with people's money? NnPC has no money. So you know what they did? Under Buhari, since Jonathan was probing subsidy scam, which led to the protest when Jonathan removed the subsidy in 2011. Remember, 2012. So when Jonathan said, okay, we are not paying them anymore, and NnPC should take over the importation, eventually, they managed to fight it enough that Jonathan finally was kicked out. So when Jonathan was out, and that guy that is now dead, Mike Baru, was appointed as NnPC chairman in place of when Buhari came in. So what they then started doing was that they were now the importers. So even if you are importing anything, it's in the name of the NnPC. So that was where the corruption now kicked in. NnPC sells crude oil, and they come back to tell Nigerians how much they have made from crude oil. Okay? So that money is now expected to be deposited in the Central Bank of Nigeria, to be kept by the Central Bank for the rest of Nigeria. That is the only role of NnPC. Okay? But when the corruption now kicked in, was when APC came in. It was monumental. Number one, Jonathan was paying about 800 billion naira for subsidy a year. The moment APC Egbekegbe came in, NnPC that is importing the fuel, using Nigeria money to import fuel, now they are also charging subsidy. So from 800 billion a year, fuel subsidy in Nigeria, government paying subsidy for petrol jumped to 5 trillion naira a year. And that money was supposed to be paid to NnPC that is bringing in the fuel with Nigeria's money. But that corruption is so embedded that nobody wants to check it. So when thiefnubu came in, they said Buhari was paying 450 billion naira for subsidy. So when thiefnubu came in, he said subsidy was gone. So which means we are not paying NnPC anymore. Boom, the price changed. But before then, Buhari that once said subsidy was gone, well, not once, or not twice, or not 3 times, or 4 times, so that they could increase the price of that petroleum from 87 naira in 2015 to 167 naira in 2023. And between 2023 and 2024, thiefnubu subsidy was gone rhetoric, right? Now kicked it to 650 naira per liter. Maybe does that not mean that Nigeria should be saving 420 billion every month that they are not paying for subsidy anymore? Abi? Good. But that was a lie. So they changed it from subsidy, fuel subsidy, petrol subsidy to dollar subsidy. And what did they do? They went on to borrow dollars to give to the supposed marketers, unnamed marketers, forgetting the fact that we all know that the only importer of petroleum product to Nigeria is NnPC. So the whole scam, the whole corruption runs so deep, Baba, that subsidy was gone rhetoric ended up jumping and increasing what they are spending on the subsidy. Even though you are paying more now, they are spending more too. Because you know something? The moment the Naira dollar crashed further under these criminals, it's automatically, possibly, affected their greed of how much money they had to actually claim for subsidy. So what did they do? Excuse me, they switched it to dollar subsidy. Now, from dollar subsidy that they were keeping, it has now skyrocketed what Nigeria is now paying for subsidy. Because when you say subsidy is gone, listen, someone can come in and set their liter. Originally, a liter of petroleum in Nigeria right now should be sold for 1,700 naira per liter. No joke. Not be say I want them to do it that way. It is the reality of your inflation, the weakness of your naira, the negativity of your economy. All of these are already there. That by the time you bring anything into that place, and you put in all of the cost of bringing them in, don't forget to also, there is now a 14% increase in import duty for a country that, that more than 80% of them are living below poverty line. Extra or multi-dimensional poverty. So they are telling the people things will be fine, but the port, they have increased the port duty 5 times. The last one is just about 2 days ago. Increase it by another 14%. Exchange rate of paying for your imported goods in Nigeria, they are telling the people they are working on the dollars, but yet they peg the importation rate at 1,440 naira. All of this will fall back on whatever you are buying, including petrol. So all their economic voodoo, abracadabra, they are doing behind, and then telling you to pray to God and wish Nigeria well, or pray for Nigeria. All this nonsense are never going to get you out of the wood. So they remove subsidy. They are not saving anything. They told you they did remove subsidy, but they are not. How much have they saved from it? They have not, because they haven't removed anything. And Shettima coming back to now say, Obi Atiku said he will remove it. Obi not said he will remove it. Why are you all acting surprised now? It is diabolical, misleading, and evil. People will not care about statistics. Those who told you that thiefnubu, a Deloitte trained accountant, the man, what do you call that thing again? Is it Poseidon? The Aquaman that defended the Lagos from Atlantic, the man that created the Lagos. Suddenly, Shettima came out and said, nothing would have changed. A lot of you just don't want to give credit to thiefnubu that he destroyed Nigeria. Because the idea of removing subsidy that you are witnessing in Nigeria today, they borrowed it or they stole it from Atiku and Obi. Now, just for the context, without sounding in their defense, because what they are practically saying is, no matter what anybody tried, you are destined to suffer what you are suffering now. And there are those of you that will believe that. And there are others who are asking, everything go do different. What would Obi do different? But let us just put them to context, please. Because at least you have seen what thiefnubu can do. Now, turning around to say, the economy of Nigeria that is in the gutters now, even though thiefnubu inherited a collapsed economy from Buhari, which is also very evil and diabolical. These criminals praised Buhari to the last day. Until now, they are still, they are still praising it. So turning around to now say, okay, it's a destroyed economy. What exactly then did Buhari do? Do it that you can say was the reason why it had done that long. Now let's go check what Atiku said. Atiku said that Nigeria have spent so much money that if to say they succeeded, Atiku was in charge of selling Nigeria properties, assets under Obasanjo. And through that, a lot of his friends became very rich, billionaires. And that gave Atiku a lot of political leverage. For those who know his history, Atiku was the most powerful man in Nigeria between 1999 and 2004. Well, 2004. Obasanjo was the president, of course, but it was pretty much believed that it was the late Yaradua, Shehu Yaradua, not Umoru Yaradua, his own brother. Shehu Yaradua, who was a soldier like Obasanjo. They said his structure then, what was that again? Northern something movement. Here you get. They said the remnant of that structure was kept together by Atiku that succeeded Shehu. And it was the structure they used in bringing Obasanjo to power in 1999. And by that, it was given a total free hand to the point that Obasanjo nearly lost PDM. You remember that thing? I can't remember the full name again. You shall get Shehu Yaradua. So Atiku was so powerful that Atiku influenced more than 70% of those who became ministers under Obasanjo. It was so powerful that the idea of the president will control the military, vice president will control the economy was their creation, Obasanjo and Atiku. So that gave Atiku so much political leverage that by the time Obasanjo would realize, I mean, Obasanjo was traveling all over the world that time, you know, John Keating, begging the world for debt forgiveness. Remember? So it was time for them to go for second term. That was when Obasanjo realized that out of maybe about 30 or 25 PDP governors, let's say 20 PDP governors, 18 of them were loyal to Atiku, his vice. Out of the National Assembly of 360 House of Rep members, it's like 70-80% of the House of Rep members were loyal to Atiku. Obasanjo needed a second term, and somehow he wasn't going to get it until Obasanjo had to prostrate for Atiku. That Atiku kind of then felt like, okay, they could give the green light that Obasanjo could get a second term. And that was the beginning of Atiku's political destruction in the Nigerian context, by the way. And since then, Atiku's dream of becoming president remained pipe-bomb dream that he continued to chase, even as he's closing to his 80th birthday. But he's still pretty much like Obasanjo. Atiku also have this mentality, the mentality of Nigeria is their baby, if you know his own history too. Obasanjo believes that Nigeria is his baby, and Nigeria must continue to exist, whether we like it or not, no matter what. Because if Nigeria should die, Obasanjo would die. It's the same with Atiku, with the mentality of this is our creation, this is our this. Majority of the ministries, agencies, parastatals that you are seeing today were created by Atiku. They were the ideas of Atiku. To shock you. When Obasanjo muted the idea of creating EFCC out of the police, he gave it to Atiku to assemble those they probably felt like could do the job. It was the same Atiku that recommended Riyahd to Obasanjo to become the first EFCC chairman. It was the same Atiku who recommended Rufaya of Kaduna. That was how powerful he was. He sold so many of the government assets to himself and his friends. Not to himself, but to his friends. So that's Atiku's legacy. Okay? Because to him, he is a businessman. And that is why, if Atiku turn 100, he will never run out of money contesting election, because the key asset of Nigeria, they were in the hands of his loyalists too, like Obasanjo, like many others. And that's what thiefnubu is doing. Majority of the asset of Nigeria will end up in the hands of his own friends that will help hold on to power somehow. But Atiku lost. Somehow, some will say because of his miscalculation. So the idea of selling Nigerian refineries is not going to be new to Atiku. They killed the education in Nigeria and they built universities for themselves, private universities, right? But anyway, far away from the lamentation, Atiku believes that since the refineries have always been the conduit pipe for looting, why not sell them to those who can have them and possibly make them work and stop importation? So once you sell the refineries, and the people with money, use their money to refurbish the refineries, right? Then the government can stop importation by removing subsidy, by saying if you want to go and import, go and import. When NnPC, Egbe came to power in 2015, Buhari, Nigeria was only importing 53% of its domestic use, sorry, its petroleum for domestic use, 53%. 47% of the needed petrol, including diesel, they were refined in Nigeria. So that this doesn't sound to you like it's ancient. This was just about 9 years ago. Nigeria refineries were working at least 50 between 47 and 50% capacity. And under APC, they just stopped working completely. And today, you now depend almost 100% on importation of petroleum products under this rogue. So to Atiku, that could be the solution. And what about Obi? Obi said, number one, he is going to launch probe into that subsidy thing to actually discover those behind it, expose them. After doing that, the Nigerians have now seen those behind the subsidy scam and all of that. Then it will begin. No, not after they have seen. That's not what he said, though. He said he will launch probe into the subsidy to discover those behind the scam. And at the same time, he was going to launch a sort of a temporary resuscitation of whichever of the refineries that could actually be resuscitated in a short while putting all of you on notice that the subsidy will be removed gradually. And gradually means, for example, once you tackle the corruption within the subsidy circle and those who are collecting it, and you are doing something about, genuinely now, doing something about these your refineries that have become conduit pipes, then you can begin to remove it by saying, okay, we are removing 20%, or we're removing 50%, or we are removing this or that. So that by the time you are going to remove the entire thing, there would have been replacements. A replacement that will not prompt you to want to pay subsidy to anybody anymore. And whatever money you are receiving from that removal can further be channeled into the expansion of expansion of those production line, so as to make sure that not only that you can produce or refine your own crude oil in Nigeria, that you can have enough surplus that you can sell out there. That's an idea. And you can never find out if he's going to do it or not. Because somebody said they would do it. Now they've turned around and said, oh, the reason why we couldn't do it is because we stole the idea. We ran with it, but it didn't work. So don't just blame us. Blame those people too, because even they themselves cannot do it. We tried their idea. So you stole somebody's idea, but you actually have no full knowledge of what you stole. It's like the monkeys that hijacked the car. The problem now is that they've hijacked the car. How to drive the car is the real problem. They wanted power. They have it. Now they have all the excuses. Before they have the power, they have all the solutions. Now they have it. Rather than now use their solutions, they now have all the excuses. If they are not blaming you for not supporting them, they are blaming some of you for not wishing Nigeria well. Others are being blamed for demarketing Nigeria, but themselves, no blame. That flashback again, if you don't mind.
As I stand before you, there are few of us left running. One says he is Atiku. How many times has he been running?
Always on the run.
He's always on the run, and he's tired. Tell him to go and sit down. Enough is enough. The other one, I think na statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that no Indian can solve it. To mention his name is a disgrace to myself. I won't mention the name. Wrong arithmetic, wrong statistics, warehouse economy, and that's not what Nigeria needs.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
What does Nigeria need? It's been a year now. So if you now ask them, they will say, it is because you don't like Nigeria. Even if you don't like APC, even if you don't like thiefnubu, Nigeria is still your country. Don't let us use a bad mouth to badmouth our country. Don't call your country name. I don't know why all of you find happiness in just talking negative about your country. Baba na gaslighting, oh, don't ever fall for it, oh. Oh no, please don't. Asking these criminals to be responsible or take responsibility is not hating Nigeria. Okay? Calling out these criminals whose actions are totally detrimental to the growth, development, the safety of every human that exists in that country. I don't hate Nigeria. No. Even though I hate the idea of Nigeria, hate is kind of like, no. But the real people that hate Nigeria are the people that have everything to make Nigeria better. But look at what they are doing. To now blackmail you. Why is it? I have even seen some mofo Africans, some of them from these other horrible countries led by some deplorable, dictators. Some of them, their president the president of their country have been in power before they gave birth to their mothers, to their parents. 40 years, 45 years. Father finished, son took over. So they will jump into it. Why are Nigerians always talking bad about their country? I've seen few of them. If you are one of them watching me, I don't know what your country is like, and I don't even know what you are subjected to. Do you understand? The idea of being enslaved, okay? And being enslaved without putting chains on you is still very much present and very powerful, and we all know that. And there are many of our people under that bondage. That makes the criminal politicians from every of those countries to feel so powerful. Mere men, mere mortals, ordinary men, but with power. They became extraordinary men who are doing horrible, extra horrible things. So they are not blessings to their people. They have ended up being curses. And calling them out. In whatever way we feel like, in whatever language we feel like, as an expression of a total disgust and displeasure for these rogues, does not make us people who hate the country per se. What a lot of people actually dislike is the idea, and a lot of us have been very, very expressive about it. There are more Africans who actually even know more too. You can't force nations that were supposed to be countries on their own. You can't force them together because it's just an idea. And the idea is not even ours. It's not our own idea. So this is the idea. The idea of Nigeria is the idea that gave birth, produced these criminals. It is an idea that is an aberration, an idea that is like a weapon fashioned against all of us. So I don't know if you understand what that feels like. And that is why we are very expressive. You know, I've seen Americans even more derogatory about America. That's your God owns country. Have you seen Americans who are pissed off with America and the leadership of America? Have you listened to them before? You just sit down there and be like, I see this one. Have you seen Americans who are pretty much like wanted to be citizens of another country? They don't want to be Americans anymore, simply because of the way they believe America has turned to. Have you seen British? Have you seen Europeans who don't want to be Europeans anymore because they believe that Europe is not European anymore? Expressing your disgust, your disappointment in the people, irresponsible people who have decided to profit from the people's misery, which are man-made miseries anyway. We have people who pray for Nigeria. Do you know that? And these criminals in charge of Nigeria, they've made a lot of them pretty much like faithless people now. Imagine you, who is so strong in faith. You know, Africans, like Nigerians, are very religious people. So politicians took advantage of that. So they asked them to pray while they loot, while they make policies that continue to impoverish their people. But they still ask them to pray. Now, it's now like God is not hearing them. Do you think God is not hearing them? You that is so faithful, you are so religious and all of that. Do you think God is not hearing your prayers about Nigeria? Would you be honest with yourself and say, it's not that God didn't hear your prayer. It's that he hears your prayer, but he's done with you. Because he's not going to do what you must do. You cannot be enabling criminalities and corruption. You cannot be sort of cherry-picking bad behaviors when it suits you. When it suits you, you will keep quiet. When it hurts you, you are the loudest. You can't be like that. And then expect God to go and fight your battle for you. It's not done. So if you want us to be praying for Nigeria, you must be mad. Because those who are praying for Nigeria, I hope they're asking God, why is God yet to answer them? They even have national prayer in Nigeria. How can you be praying for criminals to succeed? Succeed in what? So that is why people like us will continue to call them out. And turning it around and say, we don't love Nigeria or we hate Nigeria. It's because we don't like politicians. We hate our... No, you won't blackmail us with that way. You will not gaslight us. You should face the people, because nothing you want to say, oh, you don't love Nigeria. Maybe you love Nigeria. Instead of us to pray for our leaders, maybe you they pray for them. What happened to your prayers? Your prayers, no, they work on them? Or they work in reverse? Prayers don't build roads. Prayers don't build schools and run them. Prayers don't build health care and run it. Prayers don't defend countries. Are you with me? Prayer are just something you can call motivation for what you are doing. Do you understand that? You cannot put the cart before the horse and then blame everybody else that there is no movement, no motion. You can't do that. You must have an idea of holding the people who said they have the solution. You hold them responsible. You don't give excuses for them. Every day you dey fight for God. Now they fight for God. Now know who go fire. Now know who go heaven. Now have all this threat that they have used your religion to manipulate you. You allow them. You want God to be a magician. You want God to touch the heart of criminals that you intentionally give power to or support. God to touch their hearts so that they can pay your salaries. They can pay your pensions. They can stop stealing. Say God na magician. Can't you see the manipulation? Because that is the issue. These criminals have no real solution to the problems they intentionally created. Can't you see it? The system that continues to produce these rogues will make you faithless, godless. You will blaspheme against your God. It will be like say your God won't hear you. It's because you are too dumb to see how you are enabling bad behavior and then expecting it to turn to something good in your favor. This government will favor me and my family. All of you who are praying that Tinubu should fail, don't you know that if Tinubu fail, all of us go suffer? Instead of you to be praying for him. Is that how dumb you are? You still are? What happened to your prayers? Have you ever sat, have you ever seen somewhere and say, Omo, even people don't like Tinubu, but me, I dey pray. How come my own prayer no work? Because you are a deluded moron. We can't all be the deluded. The APC, Egbekegbe, want the deluded morons to continue to shout that the reason why Nigeria economy is collapsing is because some people want the economy to collapse. And Tinubu don't want the economy to collapse. Tinubu don't want your electricity grid to collapse. Tinubu don't want you to be jobless and hungry. What do you think he should be doing? Did they say they build, what do you call it? Tinubu's policy call has improved production in Nigeria, improved electricity, and now a lot of you are now getting jobs. When was the last time you heard about employment online? Are you not even asking yourselves, if you are living in Nigeria, watching me right now, their decisions are the things that are affecting your lives. It is not what people feel towards them. Number one, right? It is like picking up ant-infested firewood. Igelera. Ugbegelera wale. You carry ant-infested firewood inside your house. Now you can't sleep inside the house. Now, where they pray, say, Koolu is coming to come and what? Because I have no idea, by the way. Koolu, the ex or maybe retired drug dealer, heroin trafficker. You know, you don't call yours, stop calling your president drug dealer. Am I lying? You have a drug dealer. You have different money launderers, ex-convicts. You even have the one that ran down 2 banks. Kadobi as your central bank governor, making monetary policy for you. And you are saying that it is people who don't like Nigeria that want Nigeria to fail. Stop calling him drug dealer. Can you bring evidence coming from a voluntary slave? Bring evidence. If they say they want to arrest you now, they will begin to beg. Coming from an humbled slave. Tinubu can actually shame all of us. By genuinely investing in your power generation and distribution. When was the last time you heard employment, disemployment, that's even online? I mean, that used to be a thing. But now under APC, they pick up on their children, their grandchildren. They give them all the job slots. Their party member, they put them in there. And the rest of you are just sellers on social media, hoping and praying that Tinubu will succeed. Succeed in what? In what? Tinubu came and said, I don't know what they even did. They said they were floating the naira like a Mefiole. You floated your currency. Water can't carry the naira, can't carry and go. Then you turned around and you started defending it again. Voodoo economy. And you said you took the advice of Obi and Atiku. And that is why the Forex failed. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Well, they say all these things because they strongly believe that they are speaking to the largest concentration of morons on earth. Imagine having the biggest concentration of morons. And the politicians believe they do. They are speaking to the... And that's why, according to them, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to anybody what they are saying. They are the people who don't wish Tinubu well. Maybe you wish him well. See how much you have turned to prayer warrior. You have turned to Digbolugi on social media. You have turned to a rabid dog on social media. Abusing people's papa. What about your father? What has your father done? You're asking stupid questions on social media. And your life is a total waste for these guys. So this afternoon, Akuri Nigalailai came out and said, Nigerians' purchasing power has increased substantially. That a lot of you are now, you now have a lot of money. Baba, you are in the middle of fuel scarcity. Nobody is even talking to you. Where is Tinubu? Do you know that people are asking now that where is Tinubu? The last time Tinubu left Netherlands, and he traveled to Saudi Arabia, but something happened that didn't really gain much traction, and that was that the Nigeria private jet, this presidential jet, because when they went to, you know the way Tinubu travels, right? Nigeria has 11 presidential aircraft. 5 or 6 of them, they're like a proper bombardier, like private jets, presidential jets, plane. Then about 4 of them are like choppers, you know, police helicopters and presidential helicopters. So whenever Tinubu is going anywhere, they send the people they call the advanced team. So the advanced team comprises of those who are going to be clapping for Tinubu in those videos you see abroad. So they will go first. So usually they go in 2 aircraft, 2 presidential jets. One is reserved for the vice president. One is reserved for the Senate president. And between Senate president and the speaker, when the president is not abroad, when the Tinubu is not abroad, they make one available for the speaker. They fly private presidential jet, all of them. So Tinubu travels with at least 3 private jets, 3 presidential jets, 2 advanced team, and then the one that he is going to fly in. So, and that's how they have always been going everywhere. That is why they spent over $450,000 in one night. New York club, strip club, on drug, booze, and women. No joke. That happened last year during the United Nations General Assembly, what have you. Give me a second. So when they went to Netherlands, for some reason, they said the aircraft developed fault. So Tinubu was built to travel and fly again to Saudi Arabia. So they had to charter, I don't know how many aircraft, to they shall manage to charter some commercial private jets, like, and that's what took him and his guys. So others just returned to Nigeria since there is no extra plane to take them. They took commercial flights to Nigeria. And others who went with thiefnubu, they went straight to Saudi Arabia. So the news then was they want to repair the presidential jet, all of them, including the one that Shettima is flying in. But since the end of the World Economic Forum, people have now been asking, where is thiefnubu? Where is Koolu? And I'm also asking, where is Koolu? Is he still in Saudi Arabia or is back to France? You'll find out in 24 hours. But in case if you don't see Koolu, there is a part where, I don't know if you have seen this. It is Asari. I saw a clip of Asari returning from a trip. And I don't know. I don't think, do I still have that here? Okay, I'll go get that and get that back up, okay? But while we do that, let me use this as a short break. It's the story of a retired, Anambra retired commissioner of police, who is a billionaire. And in a sort of a scandal as well, concerning, bullying, forceful takeover of people's properties and all of that. Well, all of that are probably not interesting as much as the face-off between himself and that party. Please watch. I'll be back.
So we are following the due process because they became unruly, uncouth, disrupting the peaceful working of our environment and impairing our profit-making processes. The joint panel, comprising the Board of Trustees and the Executive Management Team, took a decision to expel them. Expulsion does not mean they forfeited their investment. They were advised to liaise with management in an exit lounge we created for them to collect their investment. Majority of them are there. And I speak to you, majority of the members have already raised a princely sum of 150 million naira to buy off those shares.
Mr. Adoye.
And to raise capital for our venture into business.
Mr. Adoye.
So that is the story about the audit.
Please, can you listen?
And from this year, all our accounts will be audited.
Can you listen? Don't take over this program. What is that? Look, when I asked you...
Please don't shout at me.
Yeah, no, please, listen. This is a program. It's not for you to take over the program. And we are saying we want to intervene and you keep talking.
You ask questions and providing answers.
Yes, I've heard you. We have heard you. Now, here we go. When you said right of reply, I was wondering where that was coming from. But you've made it clear subsequently that you are responding to Olusegun Adeniyi's article in this day, yesterday. Now, I don't think you fully responded to the issues that Olusegun Adeniyi raised. I will advise you, recommend to you, to go back to that article and read it. One of the things that Olusegun Adeniyi raised in that piece was that, look, people even protested and said you were running a Ponzi scheme. I would like you to address the question about how a cooperative, you yourself used the word, became a limited liability company. And secondly, you said the Alpha Trust, I think that's the name of the company, and the company became big and all of that. How much attention were you paying to your job as a policeman while running the business on the side? And then that company, has it been paying tax? And you talk about right of reply. There are persons who may also come tomorrow. Maybe they will not come to Arise News. Maybe they will go to another station. And they will say they want to respond to you. Because there are persons, you use the word, I'm quoting you, renegade persons, you know, that you whatever you call them, but you use the word renegade. They also have a right of reply. So when you use the word right of reply, you know, I was a bit uncomfortable with what you were saying about Olusegun Adeniyi. I don't know how old you are, but maybe Olusegun Adeniyi and myself, we probably have seen more seasons than you. Whether you are retired CP or not, it's immaterial. We are generals also in the media. So please, just respond to the questions specifically and don't say, Olusegun Adeniyi said this, Olusegun Adeniyi said that. He's probably older than you. Please, respond. You have the floor.
I understand your need to protect Olusegun Adeniyi, the chairman of the editorial board of this day newspaper, whose owner also owns Arise Television. But please, when you want to ask questions, be specific. Because the questions
I've asked you very specific questions.
In the long essay, you say.
It's not long essay.
I ask you, let me respond.
Is Alpha Trust paying tax? How did the cooperative become your company?
Let me respond.
And how much attention are you paying to your job as a policeman?
First and foremost, I have already addressed the issue of attention to my job. There's no need going over that again. The testimony is out there and it is eloquent. I pay total commitment to my job, day and night, because running the club does not require me to be physically anywhere else. My job never suffered any lack of attention. I keep awake at night, keeping vigil, to ensure if there's any attack anywhere, I can get information promptly and respond accordingly. And the evidence are also there. On the allegation of running a Ponzi scheme,
it was like a big fight. I think somehow, I don't know, that's kind of unprofessional. Some people believe it's unprofessional of our party. So, because that could be a bit of, you know, tech delay. I suffered that on this platform as well, where people that calls in sometimes, right? My response is delayed. Their response is delayed. And by the time the two of our responses or what we are saying are released to you, viewers, it's going to sound like I am speaking or talking over them. I've had people send me or commented on this and said, you know, let your callers talk. As much as I always want to have it and make it, you know, conversational, because that's what this is all about. I'm not just going to sit down in front of you here when somebody is calling. I will just be blinking like a doll. I want it to be conversational. I want it to be like, you know, when you are saying something, I want it to sort of help in a way that, for the sake of my viewers, right, help you expatiate, sort of, you know, to make it look like it's scripted. And I will sit down there and be blinking. And then there will be awkward silence. And I'll be like, hello? Oh, are you done? They say, yeah, I am done. I have finished talking now. That's going to be so awkward, but that's so different. So it could be, Abati should know that it could be the fact that when he's talking, the whole, connection and all that is delayed. But it seems that they both have something against each other, to the point that you could feel the tension if they were supposed to be in the same room. Well, something about the police officer, right? He's a billionaire and he recently retired. And according to him, he's been investing money, he's been making this or that. He was going to have a refinery, I think. It was quoted to have said that by the time, in another 5 years, now that he's retired and he can face all his business, right? They said, he personally said he's worth 25 billion naira. That's what that man is worth. And a lot of people have been asking, how could a police officer worth 25 billion? How much is your salary? I said, no, he's a businessman that will give a Dangote a run for his money. But others were like, no, he made his money from a Ponzi scheme where the people were asked to come and, you know, other one where you say, you're going to say, maybe you can't pay 1 million and you will collect 10 million after 2 weeks, kind of. So that's Ponzi scheme. that, you know, as a police officer, most of the people they've scammed. These are people saying that with no evidence. So, but according to him, there is no evidence that he's done anything wrong. He's just he's a former police officer now, and he made over 25 billion while he was a police officer in business, and there is no law that says he can't do business. That's what he said. So somebody wrote something about him that you know, is such a you know, a fraud that should be investigated, tried, and possibly jailed. Former Obasanjo's media aide. You know him. He works for the This Day newspaper. They are also the owner of Arise TV. For some reason, they have something against themselves. Because the person that was sort of, the person that wrote the article for This Day, senior colleague there, Shegun Adeniyi, right, is believed to also have a stake in this man's business, that he got kicked out and all of that story, sha. I know saying that 25 billion go remain in your memory for the rest of this evening. A police officer, former commissioner of police, has 25 billion. Now corruption, nothing where anybody go tell me. But don't be like that. All right? Don't be. Let's go a little bit forward. And listen, I don't know if this video is recent or if it is old. But what I can guarantee you is that the person in the video is Alhaji Asari Dokubo. Alhaji Asari was spotted highlighting from an aircraft and then straight onto a wheelchair. Asari is just a little bit over 50. He's not an old man, okay? But people believe that, you know, the obesity, so to say, could have become something more serious for him, that he's seeking medical care abroad. Now, we don't know if he's returning from such or if was arriving at the place, but this video made it to the internet this morning. I don't know if you have seen it. And I can tell you it's Asari. Watch. So again, like that's Alhaji Asari. So like I said as well, I do not know if this video is a recent video or old video. But whatever it is, we wish Alhaji Asari a better health and quick recovery as well. Okay? Because not because none of this is in our control, so we can only wish. And from me, I'm going to say I wish him well. Alhaji Asari, may I hear his voice? Say something.
This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. Since 1992, when I encountered you, I don't think this is the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. That calls me his friend, and I call him my friend. And calls me my son, and I call him my father. This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. Since 1992, when I encountered you, I don't think this is the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. That calls me his friend, and I call him my friend. And calls me my son, and I call him my father. This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh, sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill.
Not to get problem. Somebody said that Mayegun, let me read the comment again. Mayegun, your sorry is not genuine. Shemoshe sorry ni. I'm only wishing him well. Come on. Not to get trouble. I'm not trouble too much. Something where I just did just a few minutes ago. Or did I say sorry? No, I just felt like we should wish him well because it is not in our control. What is going to happen to me? I have little control over it. And if I'm going to die or have a serious health challenge, you know something about health, which I always, or should I say, something about engaging with people or disagreeing with people. It's not too deep, but it can be very deep for some. Like, you know, for somebody like me, right? I do not wish anybody any bad thing. Because number one, I mean, I don't have any control over what will happen to you. You don't have control over what will happen to me. Except if I physically attack you. That one is guaranteed that, okay, I can say, okay, I'm going to attack you physically. Do you understand? And whatever I do then can be said, oh yeah, I have control over what happens. Do you get that? But apart from that, nobody has any control over what happened to anybody. Because if to say, oh, now I have control, some of these your criminal leaders for don't die. You know what I mean now? Tell me any time that you wish your criminal politician well. Take a listen. See, if we say Nigerians love their oppressors differently, the oppressor way, if you are one of them, the oppressor way you hate, another person love him. The one way you love, another person hate him. So at the end of the day, hate for hate, love for love, whatever it is, when if wishes were horses, when beggars will ride. Do you know that some of your criminal politicians, they will just die or run mad or just become blind, disable this or that, so that your wishes, if your wishes were to come to reality on them. So wishes don't come to reality in this case because you have no control over it. And that is why it is kind of really stupid. You don't think so? Like, it's actually really stupid. To tell somebody that you will see what will happen. I will show you that I am a Benin girl. My dear sisters, come on. You know all those people who say, there are people who can wish bad thing, their bad wish can just happen to you. So if the bad wishes happens, how come good wishes don't happen as well? Because they are all wishes anyway. So the point I'm trying to make here is this. I may disagree with you on so many things. In fact, I may feel kind of like offended or even hurt, right? In the course of us disagreeing. I will never wish you anything bad because I don't have control over it. So what's the point? What is the point in me walking about and then hoping that I will wake up one morning and they can tell me something bad has happened to you and I can be so happy that morning? Like, yes, finally. Thank you, God. Oh, thank you, God. They said she now has cancer. That means that, come on, who does that? So my point again is this. If I have any power to wish anybody anything, do you know what that is? Do you know what it is? I will wish you what you wish yourself. Because you're actually going to be part and parcel of what is going to eventually happen to you. All of us are, consciously or unconsciously. So what's going to happen to Alhaji Asari? You and I have no control over it. And I think a lot of us also have our demons that we are fighting. So please, genuine or not, or however you see it. That's who I am. Okay? So if I tell you that I wish him well, it's because I wish him well. It's just a wish. And if they say your wish is my command, do you know how that feels? Makes you feel like a king. Eh? So that's my point, okay? So if you disagree with me right now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to... I told you this before. I said, see, majority of the things that I say here or show to you, show to all of us here, they are not targeted at any of you there. It is pretty much for all of us. All of us are the targeted audience because we are all going to be the victims, you know. I've said that many times. If they are making Nigeria economy so horrible and terrible that they are pushing a lot of you into poverty, some of you will fall into crime. And guess what? You are going to target us. Yeah, I've had Nigerians abroad who have lost all of their life savings to Nigerian fraudsters who targeted them. A lot of you are going to jump into crimes whereby yours is to probably like kidnap people for money or rob them. So do you now see how it affects all of us? Do you now see that if I sit down here and I wish you to suffer, and I wish you to be poor, and I wish you to be terrorized, do you see how stupid that is? Because by the time you become whatever you are going to become due or because of that, I'm also going to be a victim. I could be killed by one of you who currently has a life, you have a job, you have a family, everything is fine. But once Nigeria happens to you and take that, all of that away from you, they turn you to something else. You become something you would never believe you could become in your life. A criminal that hurts people because you want to survive. Do you see that now that I can't sit down here and wish you anything bad? I can't. If wishes were horses, they say. If there's anything I have to wish for that should come to pass, it's for you to listen to me and stand up and fight for yourself together while we hold our hands and free ourselves. And if not us, the generations coming after us, our own children and children's children. Do you now see that? Nobody is safe. When one is not safe. You get that? That is my concept. So I don't wish anything on people. I don't, because I mean, it's fruitless. It's pointless. If I have my wish, I will have a wish that you, the citizens, will carry out what is called the citizen arrest. Wake up tomorrow morning, like say somebody remote controlled all of you. Rise up and begin to arrest all these criminals. Display them, tie them. Your governors, your senators, and the rest of them. Bring all of them to the public scene and show the world that these are your enemies. And they will remain as your burnt offerings to your God. Whichever faith you have, you give them up as burnt offerings. If I have such wish to come to pass, that would be my wish, because you doing that is not just going to free you. It's going to free all of us too. And that's why I told you it's not even a competition. You are seated there because you are abroad. You think you can talk anyhow. I am using the freedom I have now because I may not have it for long. If I feel like I am free, then I won't be doing this. You don't understand? If you think about yourself alone, like your politicians are doing, like majority of you are doing, the selfishness, I mean, when everything will kind of come crumbling or crashing, then you realize that nobody is, when one is not free, then all of us is not free. Do you understand that? Even if you think you are, in the long run, we will be the slave of the consequences of all of this, whichever role you are playing. So maybe if you understand how much this affects you in the long run, beyond no food, I need money, I want to buy this, I don't have money for this or that. Beyond all of that, talking about the bigger picture, your future. Yeah? Just maybe if all of us can see it, then we can possibly begin to understand what it means to be free. That I can speak my mind right now that they can't do anything to me, and they probably will never be able to do anything to me. Doesn't mean that they can't do anything to me. I have people I loved so much in that contraption. And when I say people I love so much, come on. If you ask me where is my black tax going, I'll tell you. 100% of my black tax goes into that contraption. And it's a lot. And I know it's going to get worse. So when I tell you it's going to get worse, this is not a wish or wishing you anything. This is not a competition. You either stand for something or crumble for anything. Yeah? I hope I'll be able to kind of like inspire you, Sha. And you won't just see this as just like every regular thing. You just sit down and watch and just go on to the next one, on to the next one. I actually want you to be a different person. And I'm so happy that a lot of people here have become different persons, better persons, who have better grasps of things. They can no longer be tribally deceived, ethnically, hoodwinked, or religiously manipulated anymore. Do you understand what that means? It's a huge one. And I hope we pass it on as usual. Let's go talk politics a bit. Emeka Ihedioha is a former Imo State governor. He was a governor elected by the Imo people to spite the failing APC, Egbekegbe at the time, which was the Rocha's Okorocha. Then the Supreme Court happened. And Emeka Ihedioha was left in the cold. And he has been in the wilderness since then, until last week, when Emeka Ihedioha dropped his resignation letter from PDP, because PDP is gone. And as it is an extension of APC. And with Werewike still commanding a very sizable influence in that place, he has no future, he said. Well, he spoke with the DRIs, guys, and on record, this is what he said and why he left PDP. I'm more interested in why. Let it be on record. I'm not interested in Emeka Ihedioha, what he had to say. Please.
The tendencies operating the party remain there. For quite some time, the warning shots were very clear. Just before the elections, yeah, there were issues, but it made sense for us to get into the election convinced to regain power at the federal level and a number of states. But of course, a number of things happened. But after the elections, then the issues came to the fore. And quite a number of us called for needs for discussions and resolutions of issues that had arisen. Now, rather than addressing those issues and responding to the barrage of demands, what you kept seeing was a further drift to the desires of the people, which, like I stated, were very much inconsistent with the vision and mission of the founding fathers of our party, which I would say had the privilege of being a founding member right back in 1998. Then my capacity as Director of Publicity of the People's Democratic Movement. And so to see your party got to the point where we got to, and then we were on a descent that was very undesirable. I felt there was need. I mean, if you continued on that path, it might derail you as a person and then derail the intentions and, of course, your large followership. So acted essentially based on the desires of my large followership and, of course, my support base and my base back at home and nationally, who felt the party had lost its bearing and there was need for us to forge ahead. We've been on it for quite a while.
Well, I mean, let me say that it was a bit of a surprise and a shock when that happened. I mean, certainly to those on the outside, yes, because I suppose for people on the inside, they might have been expecting it. But it's been said that as you yourself pointed out, the vultures had been circling for a while, and the people who wanted to take over power in Imo State using the PDP as their vehicle saw you as being in the way and did everything they could to block you from that power. So in a sense, you were forced to resign. Is that how it unfolded?
I couldn't have been forced to resign. Now, what happened was that PDP had stopped presenting itself as a party that could eventually form government. By their recent actions, it was obvious. Nigerians no longer perceive them. And as a policy is perception. Don't perceive them as a party ready to take over at the national or state level. In the last governorship election in the state, for us, that was our most dismal. I mean, PDP not winning one single local government area in Imo State. When in 2019 I ran, we didn't have one single member in the House of Assembly, but I led the party to victory. We won 13 seats in the House of Assembly, leaving the AA and AD with 8 and 6 respectively. And so and then I won the governorship then with close to 100,000 votes difference to the opponent. And then so coming just in 2023, you see dismal performance, and nothing is being done to get the party, positioned to get back power. So it became necessary that we took actions because, we saw operators of the party who are recalcitrant and averse to reasoning with opinion that will put the party back in the shape.
Whatever the story is, Emeka is gone. He has already met with Alex Otti. And since this guy, Oplesus Odingba or Oplesus Odinjo, should be completing his own wherever in another 3.5 years, Emeka is positioning himself, and very soon some of you obedience are now going to put his picture on your profile, because I think there are some of you who actually really, really like him. And you sort of feel so bad that the Supreme Court of Tanko technicality removed him. You remember that time? I remember, Sha, in case if you have forgotten. But very soon, now go soon they say, yes, Emeka for governor. You know what I mean? The friend of your friend seems to always be your friends, right? And some of the relics are going to take advantage of you like they did in 2023. A lot of you thought you were going to have Julius Malema kind of House of Rep members, senators in the Nigerian National Assembly. You were waiting only for you to now get Robert Mugabe's ZANU-PF praise singers of Zimbabwe, who are now saying Nigeria national unity is more important to them than holding the criminals who are mortgaging your lives and your future, holding them responsible. So they will take advantage. I mean, I've seen a lot of people feel so disappointed. Where are the Labour Party members? Where are the Labour Party senators? They are eating, and you don't talk when you are eating. They'll keep taking advantage of you, by the way. But again, that's just by the way. Okay? It is just by the way. There is this, video. Before we get to that, okay? Before we get to that, I want you to see that the people of Rivers State, they have taken their case to God on this issue of Wike and Kubara. And the last time they were there, see some of them, they have to take their case to God to intervene in this issue of Rivers State. Is it that bad, by the way?
We pray, whoever that said that the governor we are having now, who is our leader, Lord, we not reign and we not have peace. May there not be peace for that person. May that person never know peace. In the name of Jesus. As far as we are concerned, the governor of Rivers State is Siminaye Fobara. And Lord, he's our governor. The history has it that he's our governor. We therefore pray that you protect him, watch over him, strengthen him, give him victory, bless his life, bless his family, see him through. In the name of Jesus.
Father, we ask that Seminary Fobra will continue to glorify you.
Amen. In the name of Jesus. In another 2 years, they will be among those who are going to pick up a bottle, cutlass, and stone. Once they discover how much Jesus has now blessed Kubara. It is Nigeria. We have seen that happen many times. In the name of Jesus, go and loot us. Sad, isn't it? Well, let's go a little bit forward again. Yesterday I was reporting the reactions of people to the alarming gaslighting of the Igbos by Devulumai. Now, why would you drag the Igbos to your coastal road nonsense simply because Peter Obi criticized that? Well, we were talking about that yesterday. Well, I don't think you have seen him also gaslight. Is it the Query Abina Ijo people have been on the East-West Road accident? Devulumayi said, you bring destruction upon yourself or something like that when you criticize or condemn people simply because people were speaking out against the obvious fraud called the coastal road. Listen to this. No be only the Igbos, Peter, no be Peter Obi. I mean, to whom are you now? It is a full-time ethnic, tribal incitement and politics. Ijo youth have now been anyway, I'll let you listen. This Niger Delta youth have now been accused by Devulumai that they are trying to turn the Ijos against thiefnubu for condemning the federal government's failure to fix a dilapidated road that caused the accident that claimed many lives and properties. Umayi turned it into a tribal thing again. Please listen.
One funny person that says is the president of Ogoni or whatever he calls himself made a very careless and
Ogoni, the Ogoni people. So Ogoni, Bere Ogoni, Taguna said, Moku, you can't listen. Somebody is inciting you, Ogoni people, against the thiefnubu government. What is wrong with Umayi? Is it this really bigoted? Listen.
One funny person that says is the president of Ogoni or whatever he calls himself made a very careless and inciting statement. And again, he darkens counsel without knowledge. Yes, we had a bridge there that we are reconstructing. And they were very large, over 16 meters wide of diversion that we made, in the past 1 year. And that's where vehicles are following. And he made a very nasty statement, trying to blame the construction company RCC and blame the federal government. Even said he was going to the, Geneva away to take us to court.
Umahi took time to explain why the construction on that particular section of the East-West Road is taking longer time.
Mr. President Bola Tinubu, when he came on board, he saw how terrible this road was. And he directed that work should be started, not as usual, but that the road should be redesigned. Apart from Warri to Benin to Warri, and part of Lokoja to Benin, there's no any other, section of the road in this country that, this kind of construction is going on.
In order to forestall a recurrence, the minister calls on the Federal Road Safety Corps to increase checkpoints in order to fish out drivers under any influence.
The road safety should mount, a number of, checkpoints to examine people against the and the hard drugs, because it's only and hard drugs that can make you to use.
Unkumiri. So Unkumiri is what? Crystal meth. Because I saw that online, and that quickly just ring bells. Unkumiri. Anyway, you can be incited. You can be turned against one another if you want them to. Mayegun's diary political is to, you know what I do most, right? It is to show to you what you already know, but show deeper how they are doing it. How politicians always drop the, in their defense, if they want to defend any of their failure, they quickly drop the tribal, ethnic, religious rhetorics. So that some people will just say, oh, is that why? Yes, nice. Why? It's because a Yoruba man is stressed. Can they try that with a Fulani man? That's what they will say to you. So when it is a Fulani man, they say, oh, that is because it's a Fulani man now. Can they try that with a German? When it is a German, they say, oh, it's because it's a German. That's why they are doing this. So it's because they hate the Jaws. So can they try that with a Yoruba man? Politicians drop all this subtle, what do you call it, dog whistle. They drop them in their speeches and they pretend that they didn't. Then you will now see those who hear them. They will now say, have you heard? Now, so those Ogoni people, they do. The other day, one of them was trying to incite their people against thiefnubu, a Yoruba man. Can you believe that? Now, so that they do. Oh, now so the Igbo people, they do. You did not hear when Humayi said that the other day. And now, you don't say Igbo people don't like Yoruba. Do you know that? How? How do you know that? Did you not hear Humayi who said Peter Obi is inciting the Igbos? Is that not what Peter Obi is doing? Is he not inciting the Igbos against? Is it not because thiefnubu is a Yoruba? So that's how it spreads. And it is no longer going to be Humayi said or that person said. It's going to now be like they know it. Oh, my brother, let me tell you something. You don't know anything. If you see, the Yoruba people, if I tell you about Yoruba people, you will shock. You don't know anything. Another one will call, if I tell you everything I know about Igbo people, you will be shocked. You don't know anything about Igbo. See, the Igbo people, because they have been so conditioned that way, they heard it from the politicians. And then they keep using that until they become something that they will say, honestly, I swear to God, I swear in the name of my father, I swear, like that. And then politicians just go, they just sit back and allow you to slug it out among yourselves. So Mayegun's diary political is just to show you how they do it. So that you don't turn around and say, after being used or you allow yourself to be used, then you turn back and say, man, these politicians, they are mad people. They are just using us, Nisha. So you won't see any member of the temple say that, because you can't use them without their consent. You know that nobody can use you without your approval. Nobody should use you without your approval, without your consent. And that's why we keep reminding everybody that if you fail to use your head, somebody else will use it for you. As we all know that brain is the most important organ of our body. Do you know that? Our brain, it is the only one that doesn't sleep. Brain doesn't sleep. It's just there until you die. The day you are born, until the day you die, the brain doesn't sleep except when you join NnPC. Your brain starts working from the day you are born, and it will be developing until you joined APC. And that's it. You would have to just live with a dead brain for the rest of the life. Thank you. So, Devulumayi and gang could continue to have the field day. But one day, that same lawless monkey will go to the markets and it won't come back. When the citizens knows better, people like Devulumayi, they will never have any chance of even having any close affinity with power. We need that. And until that happens, they can keep grooming some of you to do their human job for them. Hate on yourselves, attack yourselves, promote your bigotry within yourselves, while your criminal leaders remain united. Remember that. Finally, how many of you, okay, hang on, before I even go, not finally yet, still talking about Devulumayi. You've heard about Landmark. Well, Landmark took the center stage of the controversy surrounding the fraudulent coastal road to nowhere. Now, it's not just Landmark that is, business owner in that axis that has to do with beach. There's also another place called the Good Beach. Not far from Landmark, they too are going. Their entire structure will be demolished, if not yet demolished, by the way. There are people of a community that you heard their village head, the Bale, who was telling Devulumayi yesterday that if he's looking for their coastal lane or coastal road, it is inside the ocean, about 25 to 30 kilometers into the ocean. That if Devulumayi is drawing his coastal road to come and demolish their properties in their own community, that's not going to happen. And if it's going to happen, it's not going to end peacefully. Okay? So that pointedly shows that Devulumayi, thiefnubu, and everybody who put together this fraud, they did not follow any due process, no due consultation, no, there's something called EIA or something. It is, it is the environmental assessment, something, certificate, which also includes all stakeholders to agree and say, okay, yeah, we agree with this plan. And every interest has been taken care of. All concerns has been addressed. And then they will issue that certificate to the construction company that is getting the contracts. All of this were not done. Now they are manufacturing fake other documents to show that maybe they did, but the people are not having it. But they won't tell you that. They are the one in government with the power, and they will likely want to use it to crush everyone that they believe is going to be an obstacle. But it's going to end well. Maybe for these small businesses, but not for those communities. If you have been to this business on the beach in Lagos, close to Oniru, good beach, they say. The good beach you see today, you shall see no more. As thiefnubu bulldozer destroys this business shortly. Take a look.
So they also have a gusto here. And but the amazing thing is all of this, because of the coastal road will be going. Sad reality.
All of that be gone. You know something, right? I have now been properly briefed that there is actually 57 standard different business entities along that place they want to demolish or reduce to just the shadow of themselves, right? 57 businesses and thousands of jobs. Hundreds of millions of dollars investment will be gone. No thanks to accountant Koolu, strategist Koolu, Tell me more. Koolu.
I don't read social media anymore. They abuse the hell out of me. If I read it, I get high blood pressure. I get angry. I don't read it. So, if I want to hear anything, my children or any of my workers will tell me, this one say this one. If I'm tired, I say, please, forget it.
That's what Koolu tells people. And some of you don't forget it. Koolu says, we give him high blood pressure. High blood pressure. My house. But there is a particular thing that you should also have in mind. Koolu is using Humai to carry out this assault on the people and their businesses. When Koolu is long gone, the same Koolu and his people will say it was Omo Igbo that demolished their houses for road. They will barely say it is thiefnubu. And for whom are you to go about and then begin to throw the ethnic tribal card is even more foolish. I don't know how to describe that. I'm talking about foolishness. Sometimes some actions are not really foolishness. It's the show of the character or the stuff that an individual is made of. If I'm an honorable person, I can only hide it for a while. Yoruba says, "Efiniwa." Tabatimbo. Just Efiniwa means like your behavior is like a smoke. Once a smoke is out, you can't cover it. Imagine trying to cover a smoke with your clothes. That would be foolish. But we are not even talking about the smoke here. We are talking about people's behavior that gives them up so easily. And somehow, somebody said, show me who you are the first time, and I will believe you. But sometimes first impression don't usually last long. I mean, why am I saying this? I'll tell you. How many of you remember when Tenny, you know that lady, yeah, Tenny. What's her name again that they use? I know her Tenny Akwata. She has a stage name. I shall know Tenny. I will report you to MCO Luomo. I will report you to MCO Luomo or whatever. Do you remember when she, in protest against the failure of Buhari, as well as the killings of the young people during the NSAS protest? So in protest, she was given the national honor. MON, whatever. And Tenny, when they collected the award, snubbed Buhari, and that erupted into a social media frenzy. Correct. Aluta continua. Good. You are the type of people we want to see. This is the kind of Kineko. I love her so much and all that. You remember? But that was just a few years back, okay? I'll show you. In case if you have forgotten. Here.
That's it. Yeah, mama.
Tenny the entertainer or Tenny Makanaki or all of the above. Until this afternoon, when another video surfaced on the internet. And it's supposed, I don't know if she's a successful artist, okay? But she's had some albums, I mean, 1 or 2 albums to her name. She's out there, like, you know, she's not like an upcoming kind of like struggling type. Or maybe she is. And I think I have told you this before, that Nigerians or Nigerian elites, they are the dirtiest elite you can possibly think of anywhere in the world. They are comfortable with the shithole, and as long as their lawlessness could be really contained, they are fine with Nigeria. They are unbothered. They are only worried the moment there is no fuel to fill their tank, or there is no money in the ATM. That's when you see some of them begin to now react to this country, what is, yeah. A video surfaced this afternoon, and it was of Tenny meeting with the notorious smuggler, the notorious gun runner, Obi Dende. The same guy responsible for most of the guns that you see in the eastern Nigeria today. The man responsible for most of the guns that you see in the hands of the Fulani terrorists in the west today. The man that is partially responsible for most of the guns that you will see in the hand of the militias, armed robbers, kidnappers in the middle belt part of Nigeria today. Obi Dende, a gun runner, a smuggler, somebody who is so powerful that his connection with thiefnubu absolve him of all kind of, prosecution or whatever, or even investigation. This guy beat up a custom officer for confiscating his contraband goods that he smuggled into Nigeria. He slapped and beat up this officer. They were begging him until they released everything they took from him. He is so powerful, right? In this criminal world, that this guy has his own special day. In a week, 7 days a week, Egungbon gets 2 days. 2 days, and he has his own route. The route that the Nigerian custom must never check. 2 days in a week. That's how powerful he is. So they call him a philanthropist, but he's a gun runner, responsible for some of the death that you are seeing today. This is not a make-up story. This is not a slander. This is not a defamation. This is an investigation by an investigative journalist that reported his findings with evidence and all that. And he said nothing was going to happen to him. And indeed, nothing happened to him. Until now that Tenny is now so happy to meet the #1 Southeast #1 smuggler, Obi Dende. Some people are not surprised though. I just feel like Tenny, the daughter of a supposed retired military officer, a soldier. Tenny's father was a soldier, highly respected. Not just a very disciplined man, highly respected. And Tenny, the beautiful Tenny then, according to the story, she was an eye of her own father. For seeing your daughter jumping up, seeing a drug dealer, a smuggler, gun runner, I think Baba Tenny will be so disappointed, like many of you were so disappointed. Tenny? she posted a video herself. And according to her, I be Dende. Don't pay. Okay? Like they said, I be Dende is a cheerful giver, a philanthropist. And she stumbled on him in the private, the VIP section of an aircraft. And she was blessed. And because she was blessed, he had to show the appreciation and show all of that. You are so poor in that contraption that all you have is money. And when it is money, anybody can have money. That's one thing about money. That's why you need more than money, okay? To actually be called a responsible citizen and not a criminal. You will need more than money. Money is the least that you need. But in Nigeria, money is the most you need. Unfortunately, a lot of your criminals, they have so much money. And the best they could give all of you is a shithole that has no electricity, no job, no, come on. So since it is money, I can roll on the floor. Hey, boom, Baba, thank you, Baba, Omo. How much would you give me that would make me roll that way? Prince Jeje man. How much do you think you can give to me that will make me be Prince shaking the day. Prince shaking the day. And I don't even have half of whatever, sort of an influence that 10 years out there. But that's to tell you, you want to have money, yeah, go get money. Doesn't matter how you get it. I'll leave it at that. My time is up. So let's take calls, okay? Without wasting much of our time. Thank you very much for spending your evening with me so far. And if you do want to be part of it as well for the next hour, then you should grab your phone while I go get a cup of tea as well, okay? So thank you so much. And if you haven't really liked this, you should. I will be back in a minute or two.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
What
shall I say? Thank you,
What shall I say?
70 years old man. Is that you? Jesus is Lord. Is that you?
Let's be poor. Breathe. Don't suffocate them. We have that responsibility.
Elder Akinola, let the poor breathe. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. Nice to hear today from you. I actually followed the program yesterday as well.
I know. I saw you trying to call in, but you were beaten to it. So, yeah. Now you are here.
Yes, I was beaten to it. So I said, well, I'm going to be the first one today.
Oh, is that right? And you indeed became the first one. Don't show anybody your secret, by the way. You usually like to be the last caller so that you could wrap it up. But now you are opening it. Baba?
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm opening it. Mm-hmm. I'm now opening it to wrap up yesterday.
Right.
In essence, I'm starting off. I'm not going to repeat some of the quotation I've read on this platform before.
Right.
The one that was made by Lamido. And I wanted to just comment on that. And with one speaker yesterday, Dami and one lady spoke about. That quotation was like, why Nigeria cannot actually come out to demonstrate. And what Lamido said is that we are burdened with poverty. People are struggling to eat. And to blame them for not able to come out, they have been preoccupied. You know, in Roman days, when people are not doing anything, they find something easy, they tend to revolt. So that's why you see in any Roman community, they will build a theater for them, amphitheater for them to be able to play and get engaged, so that they don't get into bad.
Right.
But what our Nigerian leaders given to Nigeria to get busy with is poverty, so that they don't have time to actually organize and think. In essence, that's one of the things really they have given them so much work. If you cannot even find a 1 meal a day, how do you go out to protest when you don't have energy to even work? So that's just the first point I wanted to make.
So that is like recognizing poverty is a very powerful tool.
We know that right from the beginning, and I've talked about what Sonny Okoso sang about nearly 40 years ago. Right? And it's all about poverty. When the people are so poor, you give them crumbs during election, and they are all struggling to get their own share of that crumb, so that they can love you, in essence. Because if they are independent, economic independent, trust me, Nigeria will not be where it is today. The set of leader that is governing us will not be the set of leader. But because the people have been burdened with poverty, they have no choice, and they don't even have time to even confront their leader. That is number one. Number two, Dami said about, he read out a lot of different data. In essence, I'm an engineer. I design ship, oil rigs, and stuff like that. I kind of like the way he was looking at it scientifically. But one thing that is getting wrong is the fact that we still don't have up to 100 years history of Nigeria. When you're designing a ship or oil rig, you will cause some environmental condition, 1 year return period, 10 years return period. Nigeria hasn't got 100 years data for him to be making that judgment that one day Nigeria will not report. I understand why he's getting to the conclusion that there have been so cycle of events that has happened in the country that is making it look like history will continue to repeat itself upon our people. I appreciate that, but now that is not the whole story. If you go to Egypt, when Egypt happened, that has never happened in 200 years. Nigeria is going to happen in Nigeria, either we like it or not. Nigeria is just barely, a country made in 1960. We're coming. It's going to happen. Let's keep educating the people. Let's keep bringing the people together. So I don't want the people to be discouraged that it's going to just be history repeating itself.
People need to understand that we need educated and enlightened as a population to actually carry out any revolution at all, whether political or whether what do you call it? I think there's this other one called nationalist sort of a revolution thing that any revolution
it will happen.
You can really carry that out in the midst of poverty, where people are hungry and more interested in food. Okay, and at the same time ignorant. So you need enlightened, educated population to carry this out as well, sir. Abi?
Look, yes, of course.
So that's why
look at the Jews. They spent 400 years in Egypt before they were liberated. Ours is not even 100 years, but ours is so tough, I must say. We have never had it easy. But that time is going to come when everybody will be drawn to war. Look at what happened in those states in 1983. When the NPN stole the election and said nothing will happen, we just spread the police across the community and everybody will keep quiet. People refused to keep quiet. And that is what eventually led to Shagari being brought down and a military takeover. So, but of course, we know military don't have our interest because the people that are there right now, even if you I've worked in the Nigerian military before. I did my IT in a naval base in Lagos. So I was dealing with the military boys. I know a bunch of them are just they're not loyal to you.
Uniform,
They are not loyal to you. Don't believe them. They are all thieves.
To Nigeria at all.
They are even worse thieves than the politicians we have. So don't let the youth not be discouraged. Revolution is coming. Let's keep educating ourselves. Take the message to every part of Nigeria, to the north, to the south, or east and west. The revolution will come. Nigeria people will be liberated. You can't continue to hold us down for a very long time. It will come. Do not be discouraged. That's my message.
God bless you, Elder. Elder Akinola, thank you so much for that. Let's have another one. Here. Hello.
Yo.
Baba.
Mr. Mayegun.
Sir. How are you?
Mayegun himself.
Yes, sir.
I hear the brother.
I hear you too, because you know, right now, if anybody hear you, hear them back, because right now it's not easy. You go to they say, hey, Papa, you said jump up and call them Papa.
Yes, you let you
go cost you something.
You got to salute them.
You go right there. So if you hear me, you say,
you tell me to double.
Mayegun, I do. Of Lagos right now. Mr. Go shadow ballet. I say, Papa.
So I the loan sort from Italy. Idajo 247. Loan sort from Italy.
I know. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Nice,
I want just to say something to the temple of truth.
Yes, sir.
The temple of truth. I want just to state something. Just let's like the temple of truth, the temple of enlightenment, the temple of just united, the temple of judgment, the temple of greatness. This temple, as our elder just said now, I want just please to the member of the temple of truth. Don't be encouraged.
Thank you.
Don't be encouraged, because last I always watch replay. This is not like before. Before I changed my work.
Oh, like you
before I used to work live. Today I watched on Friday like this. I used to work live direct.
So you're off today, are you?
No. I because I will not go work tomorrow. I will not go work tomorrow. That's why.
Right.
So
okay.
I will get time to watch till anytime I go to bed. But ordinary day, I don't have time to watch. I would need to go and go to bed because I'm a truck driver. So I need to wake up in the morning. Before I used to sleep outside, take time to watch it live. But this time around, no. So what I'm trying to say is that yesterday when I watched replays, yesterday, yes, I think one guy called where he said he said the word of the guy is a member of True, but the guy contemplate, but he won't lose hope. I think yesterday, I don't forget the guy name.
Maybe you are referring to
he comes from Lagos.
Are you talking about Dabi, who said that is not convinced that
something like that? The guy won't. You know why? Because the other guy is Nigeria. That's why. You know, when you down country, down Nigeria, many people, you understand me? When you down Nigeria, until you move from that Nigeria before your brain will reset it. You know, when many people, it take by the grace of God to understand, even though you are educated or you are not educated, it take by the grace of God to understand, because just like we already train us, brainwash us from beginning. We are born to that shit of called Nigeria. So when we are now grow up, we for example now there was they say oya ju moto lo, but look that word. Look that word. How can you tell me that The leg is fast more than the motor. What do you mean? Okay, for example, now from you look God bless you. Look at Iba from you see. So, temple of truth. This place, this is the place you can see the truth. You can see the judgment. You can see enlightenment. This place, please, temple of truth. Who looked at Mayegun today? Please share it and press the button so that this message it can spread. The time is near. Because I don't really know. used to tell my wife. I used to tell my wife that the anarchy going to happen to that Nigeria. I can't describe it, but I always panic. Not that I'm panicked that way, but why I'm saying that because I'm worried because our loved one is there. Yes, you understand me. So, quickly, let me quick ask one something because I know my time is up. Because since I used to watch replay, if I press the like button, is it function?
It still will count. Yes, it does.
I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
No problem.
Even if you are not watching it live, every time you come across the video, right?
I will do that before.
So
even like I'll just click.
When you like that, right? It's going to turn to blue on your phone.
Yes, yeah.
It's always white when it's not liked. So, but once you tap it, it will turn to blue. That's it. You leave it that way to count.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
okay.
much,
Abba, Odaro,
how are you? God bless you. So I have another caller. Yeah. How are you tonight?
Good evening. I do Lagos.
You do Lagos now, Abi? So how is Lagos?
Yeah, so I just carry cake I just went to buy food with cake now.
Oh yeah? Hang on though. What band are you? Because I want to ask if you get lights or you get petrol. Because now people wait rich men and then they get all those things right now. What band are you? What are you?
Yeah. I don't know the band.
So you don't even know your own band.
It's a propaganda. There's nobody. There is nothing like band here.
No? Whatever they give
there's nothing like band.
If you see
if you don't see they can decide not to. They can decide not to be live for 2 days. That is it.
So that means you are.
They can decide not to be live for. I don't know the band.
You are not band A. Your OPB band K.
Yeah.
Any band where you pitch.
I was.
I don't play anything never below. If I don't give you that, tell you that. Use your money buy petrol. And if they won't cut your wire.
How many liters will you? How many liters?
You get out. Anthony.
Total 603 naira, which I just bought to it. 603 naira.
That one is good now. Is that not good? 603. That's cheap.
They have killed somebody in Obalende on Wednesday because of fuel. It's unfortunate.
I know.
It's unfortunate.
Because I saw that video, I saw that picture, and I was like, and they are going to kill others tomorrow as well. But I am interested. You bought a liter for 603 a total.
Yes, with keg, and they will charge you for the keg and all that.
But that's not.
They'll have to charge you for the.
I know the stress, so maybe pushing here and there, and some
pushing here and there, and when it gets to you, they have to cut like 200 or 500 or 1,000 from depend on the number of liters you are buying with keg. They are not even going to mine any car package. They are interested in selling for the keg.
Well, that's it.
The attendants are interested in selling for the keg.
Some people were buying it for 900, 1,500 in some places.
Yes, I just decided to say, okay, I'm not going to drive. Let me park until it comes down and all that, because I can't buy fuel for 1,200 and say I want to be driving.
Wow.
I've been to work. That stress, I don't want that stress.
And I hope people will wake up tomorrow and see it for that 603 naira. Well, it's really good for.
I'm not sure. It's like a miracle. It's like I just went. It's like a miracle that I just got it like that. I just want to buy black market and put on the car and just warm the car. Then I just saw they were buying fuel and I queue up. I don't know. I just put it on my car.
That would be another story for another day. Because okay.
Yeah, so
anyway, shall be careful, Baba. We they pray for all of
yes,
you.
yes, yes. Yes, so I want to talk about this devil Mahi.
Please.
You see, he's the Amechi of this administration. You know Amechi now. Amechi constructed the railway to Maradi in Niger because he wants presidential.
He built a university for Buhari as well.
There are so many. There are so many of the Okorochanko. Where is Okorocha now? Trying to impress these people and all that, and then try to now talk down on your tribal men. It's unfortunate that Umahi is playing that politics. I respected that man, but like in the last 2-3 months, I discovered that they just because of he wants to please a certain kind of people and all that, which you cannot please them. You can't please them. We know what has happened in Nigeria. We know what Jonathan has done in the north. He was sidelined and all that. We know what has happened. So if anybody is trying to please them, I'm from the North Central. We don't please them. I'm from Benue State. We don't please them. We tell them what is happening. Okay, you people want to take our land and all that. Fine, you can't take it. So we're always fighting. But when it comes to politics and voting, you say we are together. But when it comes to appointment and all that, that is when you now discover I'm a Christian, I'm from the North Central and all that. They will now bring that politics and all that. Let me give you a life story. When we were in school, when we were in school in BUK in Bayero University, Kano, in our 300 level. I was opportune to be the highest CGPA in that class for that session. Yes, so we went for IT and so I was at one point ahead of one of their boy. Went for IT and when we came back, they decided to give that boy A and they gave me B. So he now topped me with a point, a kind of. So instead of giving me the highest CGPA for the session, and then refund my school fees for me, they gave that boy. So I just, there's nothing to talk about. I just have to relax, and then when my time was up, I left the place. So that is it. The politics has always been
right. Anthony, right? You at that kind of age, was that like a cultural shock for you to see that?
Yes, that in an academic environment,
because of where you come from.
Yes, in an academic environment where you have professors and doctors, that kind of thing can happen. I was like, then it means there's no remedy. There's nobody can redeem that region. Actually, nobody can redeem that region. There is nothing you can do about it. Let's just forget about that region or Nigeria entirely. Nobody can redeem it. So the politics has always been like that in that place. When we're in school, that it has just always been like that. When it comes to election and all that, SUG president, departmental president, no matter your CGPA, they cannot give you. They would rather give to somebody who have not met with the requirement than giving you. Yes, that was how it has always been that like that. So that politics from that
is somebody who is supposed to be a Nigerian, right? You as a Nigerian with all equal rights that you have been told we all have the same rights, but you have been shown in the course of your own academic journey that no, indeed you might say we are all Nigerians, but some are more Nigerians than the other. Is that not it?
I can authoritatively tell you that most of the guys are from Niger and Chad. Who are actually claiming Nigerians and then taking over those departmental positions and all that. I can authoritatively tell you that. So these are things that I witnessed and all that. I was telling you that day that in Kano, you cannot build church in the entire school. Where school of 40-something years, the federal invest, there is no cathedral. But in each department, you have mighty mosques built all over. So what are we talking about? Then somebody from the south say I want to. Somebody from the south wants to.
There are people, right, who experienced all these things. They were supposed to be cultural shock. These were the things to show to them the real Nigeria. They didn't tell them. Like when you go to some places, you begin to see the difference, how you are treated. And you begin to wonder, am I not supposed to be like a Nigerian? That kind of thing, eh? So there are people who are still experiencing that today. You experienced it. You have an idea. See, almost see this Nigeria. And even say some people get this and don't get that too. But some people still believe that it is all right to lie to the rest of us and say our unity.
Yes, that we are one Nigeria.
It's our greatest.
It's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable.
When in reality, all of us know that there are more Nigerians. There are some Nigerians who are more Nigerians than the other Nigerians. There is no one Nigeria. There are many Nigerias. People who experience this in their lives, they still go out there and lie to themselves that this country is a great country. Our unity, we are the same. We are people who have a lot. We need to work together. You experienced that in your school days, and you lie to yourself in your adult age that Nigeria can work. I don't understand why people do that.
As little as the position of a class monitor, class captain, and all that. That is where the politics start against you. It started against any southern person
and where you belong to.
Yes. So there's no point of arguing about anything. They show you from the very beginning.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
You have done well. Just stay safe.
Okay, sir.
And possibly find out which band you are.
I'll find out.
Sorry, who is that? I'm hearing that sound. Is that a baby?
Yes, my baby.
We woke your baby.
Yes, sir. No problem. No problem.
See, is your baby daddy's boy or daddy's girl?
Daddy's girl. Daddy's girl.
So you have to put her on that chest before she go to sleep, Abi. If you don't sleep,
I did not give my baby Nigerian name at all.
You should give.
I did not give her a Nigerian name.
What's your baby's name?
Yeah, her name is Zuri.
Zuri. Don't tell me the meaning because
Zuri.
That conversation, okay? So Anthony, thank you. Okay. And then,
thank you, sir. All right.
You have a good night, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Nice one.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So that's Anthony calling us from Lagos. And indeed, a lot of you experienced pure racism while you are growing up. I'm talking about racism that actually tells you, it should have shocked you, to shock you to reality that Nigeria is not one. Everywhere you turn to, there are many places they will show to you that, listen, you are Igbo. Well, the Igbos, I say, I'm a Nigerian now. Well, I don't believe that, Jari. I don't like Dikini, you know that stuff. Some of you have experienced this shock, but you still went ahead to be propagating Nigeria is a great country. Our leaders are our problem. If all of us can come together. You experience all of that racism. You experience that kind of, tribalism in your way growing up. Now you are adults. You are now sounding like a broken record. This country is a great country. We are all Nigerians. Who is lying to you? Or who are you lying to? Here. Hello. I actually thought I took your call, and it would be like really, really heartbreaking for you if you were connected and suddenly got cut off, okay? Sorry about that. Are you there? Okay, I'll just take another one. Here. Hello there.
Good evening, my good general political.
Good evening to you, Baba. How are you?
I'm happy I could get into the program tonight. I tried to get
have you too, but is it your first time?
No. I've called in some couple of times.
The way you sounded, Baba, you sounded like more finally. I love that.
Yeah,
you like that every time. Yes. I mean again.
Yeah.
How are you, Baba?
I'm fine. You see, what the last caller said is true, I was opportune to have some couple of Northern Christian as my colleague in the UK during our master's program.
Right.
But I noticed that those of them that came from Nigeria, he was the only Christian from Maiduguri. So we got talking. He told me that the truth is, if you're a Christian now and you want to get into the core, what's it called, courses in the northern states, it's like you are just playing. Courses like medicine, electrical engineering, courses like, like all those core courses. So now, he said that the only federal school in the northern space that is still helping the Christians is Unijos. And that's why Unijos is always under constant attack whenever all those Islamists want to attack them. So I was not surprised what happened the last time. But the unfortunate thing is, and that's why at times I always fought Khan. Where Khan needs to be active, they don't talk. I don't know, maybe they also sabotaged or whatever is happening with them.
Compromised, Baba, obviously.
Or compromised. Look at the JAMB now. If you go and check the JAMB score now, if we can do an analysis, you will see that we have some of these Christian students who have just finished the secondary school who will be seeking admission. At the end of the day, go and look at the admission list. In the core courses, you had to find Christians there. And where the only will be they did not. So at the end of the day, you find out that somebody who
cut off or their names didn't come out. So it's nobody's fault.
Exactly. So somebody who applied for medicine, at the end of the day, they will give him maybe lab science.
To make our listeners to understand this better, let's let me put a perspective on this to make it easier for all of us now, okay? You know that we all know about the quota system. And generally, everybody believes that if you are a student from northern Nigeria, you get a quota system that can cut off your marks to allow you gain entrance into the unity schools and all that stuff, and even universities. So what you are saying practically here right now is that even though we know about the quota system is not actually for everybody in the north.
No. Exactly. If you're a Christian or
you know that nobody has really paid attention to this as a thing. We all just put all of them in the basket.
I think you need to help us to do what's it called a program on this.
We are doing it now.
If your name is Tom Mohammed Abubakar.
If
your name is Tom Mohammed, yes.
I know. You know what we are doing right now? We are trying to now kind of open everybody's eyes to something that normal we despise. Okay, where they say quota system. To me, until tonight, until this evening, the quota system to me means if you are from northern Nigeria, whether you are Christian or Muslim, it doesn't matter.
No.
So you are saying that there are actually Christians. The persecution of them gaining entrance into universities in northern Nigeria was actually skewed as well. I need to find this out. Like if that's actually the real situation, this is a real big thing.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised, Eventually, he gave me a situation whereby this guy needed to graduate with a first class in his department.
He had to graduate with first class to qualify for that scholarship, master scholarship, Abi?
Yes, he actually graduated with first class. So now, another of his colleagues was not fortunate. What happened to him was in one of a course that they needed to release the result, they did not release the result.
Wow.
At the right time. So it affected the collation of his results. That let's say he needed to graduate in 2012. Eventually, he did not graduate in 2012. He graduated in 2013.
Just to delay him for extra
Just to delay graduation. So the ones that are even fortunate to get the admission, they will be persecuted in the department because maybe their name is Joseph something, Abudu something, you know.
Do you know that somebody once told me that people had to add a pretentious Muslim name to their name to hide that they are Christians
yes.
in northern Nigeria to gain admission.
My ego, you
I never
will
really
be
believed
surprised.
that.
My ego, no, it's free. It's free. If you want, in fact, if you want me to give you, what's it called, some of these northern Christian guys who are studying in the UK now, to just give you first-hand information, I will give.
You know what you're going to do for
them,
me?
and they will
No, I'm interested. You know what you're going to do for me? Where exactly are you located in the UK? Just the area. Just say Manchester, London, where?
No, Southampton.
Southampton, Rabbi. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to have one-on-one with them, and it's going to be arranged. Okay, Baba? So just please keep in touch, all right? Because one of these days, if I begin to put the resources together, we could travel down to Southampton School, right? Meet all these guys, sit with them, have a coffee or tea, let them tell their stories.
Yes.
I won't mind.
You will be surprised. You will be surprised at what they tell you. How they were able to navigate.
What you are telling me right now, I am shocked, and I'm not somebody that is shocked easily. You get that?
My God, how they were able to navigate. Now the problem now is they said that with this advent of Boko Haram and banditry, the thing has even gotten worse for them now. That as at the time they entered the university 6 years ago, it was still okay, but now it is more like you are passing through the eye of a camel. It's not something.
I never knew. So that means that's for school. So we shouldn't even touch the employment, so government work. We shouldn't even touch that one at all.
Exactly. So that's for school. So imagine what is happening to them in politics. Imagine what is happening to them in other. And that's my problem with can. And that's why I normally say can is more of a can of cancer. I don't know what's happening.
Damn it, man.
You know,
I didn't choose where to be born. Imagine me being born in what do you call my Duguri, and this is going to be my situation. And somebody will turn around and say I should be a proud
this guy is from Maiduguri. You know that Maiduguri has large, what's it called, Christian.
They have the largest population of Christians now, but till tomorrow they continue to present Maiduguri as if to say it's a Muslim state. Till tomorrow.
The only school helping them in the northern area now, I can tell you factually, based on first-hand information, is Unijust.
Wow.
What's any other thing apart from Unijust, and you know it's because Unijust is in the central part.
I know. What would you like me to call you? What would you like me to call you? Because I really, really need to get in touch with you. This is some story that we are talking about people's lives here. I mean, it's horrible, right? It is. Nigeria is horrible. Nobody should be subjected to this kind of a thing. Like, Omo, okay.
Yeah.
What would you like me to call you?
Ife. Because I have it. Yes.
If I have spoken to you before, I remember now.
Yes, exactly. I that's my Yoruba name. That's my Yoruba name.
I appreciate you, Baba. I do. And everybody who has this experience should share them publicly like this with us.
Yes.
Some awareness.
Then I just want to add this. Based on your broadcast yesterday, the shock of my life in the last election when the Lebanese were sharing what's it called, goods to people. I think in Surulere for votes. Looking at the history of black people and their rights, for that to be happening in Nigeria, I'm like, can a black person try that in in an Arab country, trying to share
like Pakistan?
One my bell, they
won't even blink.
To tell you the way our leaders have really sold out our dignity and perception to the outside people. So I think it's another way of putting this together. Thank you very much. I maybe one of these week I will call in during the afternoon breaks. I'll keep up.
If stay on the phone, okay?
Yeah.
I just want to see because I'm somebody who can easily remember what do you call it? The number. By just looking at it, just bear with me, okay? I want to make sure that, in fact, you know something, I've seen your number now, okay? Leave me a text.
Okay,
that says, this is Ife. Don't send it in WhatsApp. Send it through the proper phone, okay? Because that number can receive a message.
I'll do that.
I'm going to be in touch.
I'll do that.
Okay, Baba. This is something.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care, man.
Yeah.
So that's Ife calling from Southampton, by the way, Southampton. And honestly speaking, I am actually like a gobmasked. You know, like in my head, like my head was like this. Allah. Oh. Even though in my head I was like, okay, yeah, it is actually like really, really possible. But I have never imagined it. It's such a sad thing. Like people are subjected to a lot, and just simply because they were trapped in that contraption called Nigeria. Look at that. Huh? I think I have a caller too. Hello. Did I lose you? Okay. Don't worry. I actually got you. You should be on my screen. Okay. I'll just take another one then. Hello there.
Good evening, Uncle Michael.
Oh, Aduke. Good evening to you. How are you this evening?
I'm very well. Aduke.
Aduke. That all of us want to care. You know that? Like people fight to care for you. That's what it means.
I received it all.
Eh?
I received all the care.
And it's not an alias. I'll keep correcting you on that, okay? Oh, my dad gave me that alias. No, it's not. It is a beautiful one, indeed. So thanks so much for calling in again, by the way. Let's go for it.
Thank you. Okay, I have 3 points.
I'll let you make all of them, please.
Okay, so let us start with the first point. The last caller who lives in Southampton, I loved everything he said. Okay, so let me read something quickly so that we can all be in accordance. So the JAM results have come out. Are you aware of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want to read to you the results of JAM. So 1.8 million wrote JAM.
Right.
Okay, 1.8 million students wrote JAM. That's actually a very low percentage. First and foremost, out of the 1.8 million that wrote the JAM, 1.4 million scored below 200.
Which is practically fail.
Which is a failure. So everyone that's calling, that's talking about morality and why are they behaving this way, if they're not educated properly, the only thing that will be on your mind is evil. Right? So we have 1.4 million scored below 200. So that means they cannot put words together. That means they cannot put numbers together. And these are going to be your future leaders.
Yeah.
So if you think it's bad now, tearing Coco.
Scary stuff now. And you know, that's actually what prompted me to start this platform almost 12 years ago now, okay? Because I was so worried that, you know, like all of us are here trying to kind of make our lives better and do as much as we can to also help those next to us. So one of these days we are going to be older, and all those children that they fail to train, sent to school, like we are saying here today, they are also going to grow old. They're going to grow up, and they would have to survive. But their survival would then have to be our own discomfort. So you're right. 1.4 million in a swoop. Wow.
They 1.4 million failed. However, in regards to the amount of children, so if you look at the Lagos, let's focus on Lagos. So you have the Alimosho, Agege, Apapa, Badagry, Epe, Ibeju, Ikeja, Ikorodu, Lagos Island, Lagos Mainland, Mushin, Ojo, Surulere. Between the ages of 15 upwards, you've got like 20 million children. 20 million. And only 1.7 did exam results. So where's the other 18 million children?
Out of school, my dear.
So we have to have that in mind. That's my first point. My second point is in regards to the road, the Lagos to Calabar road. Coastal road. Like I said before, the professionals are the ones that are going to ruin us. The guy who owns that company, we're not doing enough research. His co-owners are Lebanese.
Yes.
Let me say that again. The guy who owns the
high tech.
front, the beachfront. The guy who owns the beachfront, that the media are telling everybody that he invested trillions of money into, he's co-owned by Lebanese. So we also have to ask ourselves, how did this guy get access to private land where you're charging poor people 5,000 naira to enter something that their great-great-grandfathers own? So we have to be careful, professional people. The elites are the scammers. Because why are Arise TV carrying the noise of a professional man when, if you go to Ali Mosho, all the roads are broken? Why aren't Arise TV carrying the noise of Ali Mosho or the kids in Agege? But we're carrying the noise of professional people who are saying that they have trillions of pounds invested. Where did that money come from? Where? Show us who your co-founders are. All of the companies, I think it's 60% of the companies on the beach area, this is a beach area, are owned by Lebanese people.
Man. You know what, somebody said that once you go to that Lekki Peninsula and you keep going on like that, Eco-Atlantic and all those places, right? They were owned by the Lebanese and Indians. And we are talking about thousands of hectares of land.
Yes.
How did they come by that? I think we do know how. Somebody signed it off. And that person is the president of Nigeria today.
Thank you very much. Or other people. It's not just the president. There's other third parties that are involved.
There are so many others. I mean, there are names. So there are actually names of those who they made believe that they are stakeholders just to give it some political strength, okay? Because there were actually, Tinubu has shares there. The Shaguris have where they are the fronts, okay? The owners of the high tech, like you said, the Lebanese guys.
There you go, yeah.
And they own thousands of hectares. I'm talking about kilometers of land. This is not even measuring plots now. We're talking about kilometers of land. Like you are on a road, and 8.4 kilometers to one single person, the Lebanese. Man, it should be shocking. But here we are.
And we also have to be careful how we take information, because you have to ask yourself, why is Arise fascinated with these rich people? Because there's rich people that own that land.
That's right.
They took that land from poor people.
That's right.
So why aren't Arise fascinated by what's going on in Efe, where all the poor people have no property? But we're giving noise to the rich people, the man that's telling you that he put trillions of pounds. Who is your co-founder? Bring him out. Because the millions of pounds he's talking about, they're loans. Which bank gave him that loan? The average Nigerian man cannot even get loan to open up a mechanic. No. So you're saying that, they're going to ruin the beachfront. Now, who gave you that beachfront? What country can you get a beachfront like that? Where? One person. So we've got to be careful with how they project things. That's the same place where it costs 5,000 naira for water, and the average person that works in that place collects 60,000 naira a month salary. How does that make sense?
Yeah, call it capitalism, they will say. And I love the part that you just mentioned, the people who work there, poor pay, working in an exclusive, outlet like that, very rich, richer novels in the society, showing off their wealth and the rest of that. But those who services them are so poorly paid that there is no chance that they will ever live such rich life themselves.
Thank you.
No matter how long they work. But again, Aduke, there's something there too, which is, without sounding like we want to defend the rich in this instance, okay? It's like even we, the poor, are trapped in there. Imagine the thousands of jobs in this situation that they found themselves in Nigeria that could have been prevented, even for those alone. Now, those lives are going to have to be many of them won't recover because of this.
Yes, I understand that. We take that on board. But the bigger story here is that until the elite feel the pain, the professionals must feel the pain. Until the professionals feel the pain of these kind of situations, nobody will wake up. Until the professionals go through the pain, they lose businesses. Every day, poor people lose businesses. Do you not see what Lagos government does to these local market women? where they'll come and take all of their goods away.
I know.
So the professionals have a big part to play.
Your third point.
They definitely do. And my last point before I go, back to the discussion around the professionals and the ecosystem of money, I want to read out quick 10 bullet points. I've got factual data here. And the data that I'm looking at here is about Lagos government.
Okay.
And it talks about the amount of loans. I don't want to cry. The amount of loans that Lagos government has taken. Some of these loans are 4-year loans. Some of these loans are 30-year loans. Okay? So maybe if money was being used in the right way in other areas of Lagos, maybe then this concern about the coastal line wouldn't be that prominent. But back to the conversation that why are the professionals not being accountable to the citizens? Let's leave the governors, the presidents, the actual professionals. So let me read something out quickly.
Please.
So Access Bank has given Lagos government 14 billion naira loan, and it says the purpose, development of infrastructural facility. Polaris Bank, 20 million. Zenith Bank, 10 million. United Bank for Africa, 5 million. Providence Bank, 2 billion. Echo Bank, 3 billion. Fidelity Bank, 5 billion. Guarantee Trust Bank, 10 billion. These are all loans that Lagos state government have taken. Okay? Sterling Bank, 7 billion naira. United Bank for Africa, 21 billion naira. Wema Bank, 3 billion naira. Zenith Bank, 11 billion naira. There's more. Stanbic IBTC Bank, 8 billion naira to finance various infrastructural projects. They don't even list the products. They don't even list the projects. First Bank, 15 billion naira. Polaris Bank, 10. I didn't even know there were so many banks in Nigeria. Echo Bank, 4 billion. Union Bank, 10 billion. There's more. It's like three.
Aduke is alarmed and wondering that if all this money taken were indeed invested in Lagos, probably it would have been a real great blessing for the people of Lagos, but they are gone. And if you dare, see, for 24 years, Aduke, 24 years, Lagos State Finance has never been audited.
This is an audit. This is an audit. They have submitted this as an audit.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
But when I say audited, it simply means that, you see that 3 billion, you would automatically see what they used it for without just this paraphrase or did you see any breakdown in those figures?
I'll tell you the two breakdowns they have, sir.
Right, go on.
They state it either as to I'll send you the link, sir. It says to finance various infrastructural projects in the state.
Right.
And then the other one they will have is to finance red line rail infrastructure.
Okay, specifically?
Yes, and that's the main ones that they have. That's all.
I have seen their annual financial reports. They are such dubious, criminals, Aduke. I know you came across this, and somehow you have more questions and many more questions that you are like never going to get answers to. Okay, see, every year they publish, right? They are so loud too. Oh, you need to go and read so and so from our report, so and so. You will see it from so many years too. But you know something?
Yeah.
They are so dubious, and at the same time, they are so hideous. Okay, I mean, so you know what they did, right? You will see them now. They will say 4.5 billion for the expansion of road infrastructures, and they will say Ikosi 100 million, Ijorabadia 100 million, Oshodi 100 million, Mushin 100 million. Then the question will be, do all those roads have the same length of measurement? Like, how come they are all 100 million, 100 million, 100 million? Do they have the same length of, stretch? No, they don't. If you dare ask them to break down now the 100 million for this or that, they will ask you to write for the freedom of information. You write them through freedom of information. By the time they will reply you in that freedom of information, that same thing that prompted you many questions in the first place, right? Is what it will send to you. So when you see it and you write back and say, it's the same thing that I saw on your website. I'm looking for breakdown. They will ignore you. But to them, they have already, by law, they have fulfilled the freedom of information request of yours. I've seen people tried. Nobody could break in. It's a shame, but yeah, I'm glad somebody like yourself is interested in pointing them out. Like
what I wanted to really highlight, my issue wasn't just the fact that they are getting the loans from the bank. That isn't my gripe. What I wanted to highlight was the professionals who are in these banks are signing off on these loans. This is the issue. So the account manager, the account director, there's a lawyer, there's an accountant who doesn't work for the government, but works for the banks. So these professionals, they need to be accountable as well. And also, when we hear the stories of this governor stole money, we need to understand, okay, where's the money coming from? This money in the bank are people's money. So when you go leave money in your bank, understand that they're taking that money and they're giving it to governors. They're taking your money that you're keeping in your bank. They're taking that money and they're loading it to the to these people.
And so helping them to launder it.
Yeah, so it's almost like we're helping the thieves, and the professionals are the ones doing it. So when we're putting so much blame on the Tinubus and the liars and these governors, we have to. The regular Nigerian is the number one culprit in all of this. Thank you, Uncle. Good night.
Bless you, Aduke. It's quite an interesting conversation. I love that. I hope I speak to you again as well. And I also love the fact that you did promise me the first time you called in when I said, please don't stop calling. And you said you won't. And here you are. I love your perspectives to issues here. And I hope I see more of you. Thank you so much. And that is Aduke, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, we are going to draw the curtain. I have had an interesting convo tonight, and I appreciate every one of you who is part of it, okay? Everyone. So if you have been like playing your own role, like sharing, liking, and all that, I want to say thank you. And to all my callers, you are amazing people. You are those who make this even more kind of interesting for a lot of people. Interesting in the sense that some will hear you speak and they want to call in and possibly say their mind based on what you just said. And that's interesting. I will see you some other time. Thank you so much. And take it easy. Okay? Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà one. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Àyè.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.